Alright, so you might be asking yourself, what are you going to pack when you have less than 12 hours to plan a whole canoe camping trip overnighter? So here we go. This is what I'm going to lay down and this is what I'm bringing. Long story short, I have plans Saturday afternoon into evening, but I really want to get into the backwoods and just have a night to myself and not deal with anybody and not deal with any campgrounds. That was my original plan, but I'm skirting that around and gonna go somewhere. And luckily I found actually an island that I'll be able to canoe into that's within an hour and 10 minutes drive of my apartment. So that should really help things out. That might be my new stomping grounds if it turns out to be a good deal. Because there's not too much close to me where you can just go and you can do primitive camping where you don't have to set up a permit and you have to be on an established site that has a fire ring and everything, which I like to do. I like to get away from those and I like to get out and set up my own camp and then leave it and leave no trace of myself afterwards. So here we go. First item, my trusty life jacket. If you're going canoeing or kayaking or kayak fishing and you hate wearing a life jacket, check one of these out. Get yourself a decent life jacket and you'll actually like wearing it. I always hated wearing life jackets my whole life, and I've always had well, actually I started out on those stupid orange wrap around the neck ones when I was a kid, and then I eventually got a vest. Still hated the vest. If you get yourself a good fishing kayak PFD, you'll love it. This one's a Stalaquist Fisherman. And like I said, I could wear this all day. I absolutely love wearing it. I don't even realize that I have it on. So, life jacket. Next thing, double-bladed paddle. This is a little bit fancier. They're carbon fiber with fiberglass tips. They're pretty light, but any paddle will do. Alright, going into filming equipment. Planning this in less than 12 hours, got my heart set on it, and then checked the forecast, and it looks like it's supposed to thunderstorm all of Saturday afternoon or all of Friday afternoon into Sunday morning. So I've done this before and I've enjoyed it, so let's get back out and do a thunderstorm camp out, and I'll actually film it this time. So filming equipment, I'm just going to be bringing my GoPros. Or action cams are not actually GoPros. But unless something changes, I'm going to be leaving the big camera here. These actually do get pretty good film quality, and I've actually made issues at it in the past when I wake up in the middle of the night in a snowstorm or something, and I'm trying to redo something. It's too much pain to get out with the camera, so I miss a lot of good footage. So I actually came up with a kind of the idea to make an action cam that has a light bar attached to it that can set up into a tripod if I need to set something up and film myself while I'm just talking to it or whatever. This is going to be invaluable to get those action shots when crap's hitting the fan and I don't want to drag out the big camera and I just want to get stuff done. So still be able to get some awesome footage with this, and I'm pretty excited to implement it. Okay, moving into the pack. My carabiner, I have my Cooksa, whatever the wooden spoon's called. I think it's got a specific name for it. Don't remember what it's called. And then some work gloves. On that same side of the pack, I have my Baco Laplander saw. This is a great saw. I love that it locks shut, so if you're stuffing this in your backpack with your other gear, you don't have to worry about that blade working open and then cutting up your tarps or sleeping pad or whatever. You'll know that it's going to stay closed until you want it open. And my Condor hatchet. I was going to bring the full axe on this one, but it's going to be such a quick overnighter that it's not going to be worth it. Probably sharpen this up tonight before I leave because it's a little bit dull right now. So that's it for that water hydration pocket. On the other side, I have my stainless steel Nalgene. If you don't have one of these and you do a lot of winter camping, you should get one. They're wonderful. Just take off the lid. It's attached by some cordage that comes off the rim. You're able to boil your water in this over the fire. Just stick it in the coals and pull it off, and then you have a nice hot water bottle. I also got a neoprene sock that goes over this, so at the end of the night when I'm ready to go and turn in, I boil the Nalgene full of water, then stick it in that neoprene sock, put the cap back on, throw it in my sleeping bag, and it keeps me warm without burning my thighs, because did it without the neoprene sock, and you definitely, if your bare skin rubs up against the stainless steel, you'll not enjoy it. That same pocket got probably 75 feet worth of paracord. I don't really know. I think I was using this for my food bag, so hopefully it's not cut up into a bunch of pieces. That pretty much always ends up what's happening with your paracord is you end up with a bunch of half-used pieces, and then you never have a full bare hanging food bag. So that's that. And on our outer pocket, we have my sit pad. Thermarest sit pad. These are nice. If you don't want to bring a big camp chair with you, you want to save the weight. This gives you something comfortable to sit on, as well as you can probably use it to add a little bit of extra cushion and protection to under your normal sleeping pad. It's going to be thunderstorming the whole time. Packing a lightweight poncho. I'll have to look up the brand of this. Maybe I'll post it on the screen. But it's kind of a nice setup. It's a little bit thicker than like a disposable poncho that you can get at the store. So it's going to last a couple uses. But it also folds up pretty small that you don't have to worry about it. I had a Frog Togs one, and this is probably about half to 2/3 the size of what that Frog Togs one was. And that Frog Tog one got beat up after a while too. Alright, then I just have kind of a fleece soft shell. If it gets a little cold, I'm assuming it's going to be cold if it's thunderstorming out. That will be my outer layer. Alright, moving on to the side pockets. I think I only have one of these packed. The other one's empty, I believe. Maybe not. Oh, the other one's got garbage from a previous trip, so I'll have to empty that out. But just in the side pocket, I have my bug screen net for my head. Mosquitoes are obnoxious right now where I live. Just in the city, it's clouds of them. You go outside, we tried to take a hike the other day, and there's just clouds upon clouds that were following us. And I had that natural bug spray on, which normally works really good. And they were finding any little spot where either you sweated through it or you missed rubbing it on, and it was, I'm not going to say a terrible hike, but it wasn't as enjoyable as it could be. So bug screen net, and then packing 100% DEET in the top compartment here. So let's move on, like I said, into the top compartment. I have 100% DEET. When the mosquitoes are terrible, what's better than lathering yourself up with cancer at 100%? It's actually not 100%, it's 98.11%, but assuming DEET's not the best for you, there's mixed studies on it that it leaches into your bloodstream after so many hours of having it on, but at the end of the day, when the mosquitoes are really bad, I'm going to want this on to not go insane. I'm also going to be wearing some longer sleeve shirts this time and pants, so it won't be as big of an issue, and those will be sprayed down with permethrin. So I'll probably be in better shape, but I'll save that for my neck or something if they're getting really bad. Alright, next up we have just my small little personal first aid kit. Normally the only thing I really use out of this is the ibuprofen I keep in here because I get migraines a lot of the time, and if I can catch them right on the onset and pop a bunch of ibuprofen, normally they don't become too bad. So only other really thing in this that I've used is Band-Aids. Normally don't cut myself too much, but every now and then, or going through thorns or something, you'll want a little Band-Aid to throw on. Alright. I got my fire tin. Outside this, I got a mini Bic lighter, some char cloth, some fire starting little tabs. These are kind of like those fire logs, but they're just little tiny cubes. And then as well in there I have some match striking paper. Some duct tape. This is good for putting over Band-Aid that's coming off or something, or a bigger wound to kind of close it up. Also, this makes good fire starter if you light it with a Bic lighter. Got a piece of flint, as well as a flint striker, magnifying glass, and then 5 stormproof matches, as well as some tin foil to make a windscreen out of if I need it. I'll pack that back up and then we'll keep digging into the pack. Alright, so that is it for the top compartment. I also have to, before I forget, to put my toiletries up here. That also will go in the top compartment. I just don't have them packed yet. Okay, moving into the main compartment. This is going to be a quick overnighter, so I'm going to have dinner, which is beef stroganoff, Mountain House. I'm going to have 2 crunchy bars. One is the Kodiak brand peanut butter bars, and one is the Nature Valley dark chocolate. I love the dark chocolate ones, but the Kodiak cake brand packs a little bit more protein in them. So I have both, as well as I have Kodiak blueberry oatmeal for the morning before I head out. Probably be throwing an apple cider in here or a hot chocolate also. But just real limited, just something to get me dinner at night, get me a quick breakfast in the morning to head back out. Because like I said, I'm going to have to get up relatively early, canoe out of there, and then get headed back on home. So, quick meals. Okay. As I said, with the bugs being so bad, not going to leave this at home. This is my single person bug net for my shelter, but I'm using my tarp setup. So normally this hooks up really easy whether you're doing an A-frame or an Adirondack shelter. If you hook up to that top tie-off point to your ridge line, then you can spread it out really easy. It just makes a whole world of difference when the mosquitoes are out, and it packs up to nothing and it barely weighs anything. Next up, I just have my ground tarp. This is just a little 5x7 cheapo Walmart tarp. Packs up pretty small, but I just use this to protect my sleeping pad as best I can from getting any additional punctures in it, which I always seem to get punctures in it. Both my climate pads failed, so I will be testing out a new pad on this trip, which is the next item up, I believe. The next item up is the sleeping pad. This is by Gear Doctors, and it's called the Apollo Air. This is a clone of the Neo Air Thermarest, pretty much, from what I heard. I have blown it up. It's pretty comfortable. Boasts, I think it was a 5.6 R value. I'm gonna have to test that out because this packs up smaller than my climate pads, which were I believe they're a 3.5 or a 4 R value. So it's kind of, if that claims true, it will be amazing because it packs up even smaller. I don't know if I'm trusting that R value, but it'll be nice to have an extra thick pad because the climate pads, if you're sitting up on them or if you're moving around, you will bottom out. Your elbows will bottom out on them. Just the way with the air chambers work on this. This will hold you up off the ground where you don't have to worry about sitting up or shifting in the middle of the night and then getting your elbows or hands dug into the hard ground. Alright. Then I have my trusty 10x10 AquaQuest tarp. This has been on with me on many adventures, including my first winter camping trip that I did. So, I have a lot of backstory with this. I also have, I think it's called the Gold Shield tarp. That is a still poly tarp. That one's a little bit heavier, but still poly is supposed to be a little bit more durable and more waterproof. Haven't had any issues from this, but I'm only bringing one tarp on this, so we'll see how that goes. Normally when it's going to be storming like this, I like to bring 2 tarps, or a shelter, a tent, and a tarp, so to have an area to sit under so you're not stuck in your shelter the whole time. But with just being a quick overnight, we're just going to keep it to 1 tarp. Okay. Next up is my trusty old Cabela's down sleeping bag. You can't get these anymore. I've probably had this for, gosh, going on 8 years now. I got this right back after I graduated high school when I started wanting to get into backpacking, because the original sleeping bag I bought was massive compared to this, and there was no way I was getting it in my backpack. Actually, that first one I had was what I brought on that first backpacking winter trip that I brought for Morty, and then he didn't go in. So it's still fit. If you have a ginormous bag like my Marine ILBE pack, that one will fit in. If you're trying to just go with a normal backpacking bag, you probably kind of want to get down or some type of compressible synthetic bag that's going to have a higher price tag on it. Alright, so that is pretty much it, guys. Oh wait, one more thing. Alright, so I almost forgot about this, but this is my last item besides the toiletries. But this is going to be my new belt knife that I'm bringing out to test out. This is a BPS Woodsman, I believe, or Adventurer, something like that. I think it's a BPS Adventurer. It's a real nice blade, shaving sharp. I could probably make my arm buttery smooth with this. Real nice blade on it, as well as it comes with a ferro rod that has a holder on it. So, to mention, this isn't going to be mine forever. In a future video, I'll be talking about a giveaway that I'm doing with this. But I want to get some work out of it first and see how it handles, because it's for an Amazon budget-friendly knife. I think it came in around $38, $40. It's a steal. Exactly with how sharp it is and how sharp it came. If it can hold that edge and it's quality steel, like we'll test out, it's definitely an excellent purchase. So be looking for that future video on the knife giveaway. That will probably come in the next couple of weeks. Just to give you a lowdown quick, so that's it for the gear. But just to give you a lowdown of what's coming up on the channel, we're gonna, after this is posted this week, the loadout, next weekend, Labor Day weekend, I believe, we'll be posting the overnight adventure canoe trip that I'm taking this weekend. That weekend that goes live, me and Alyssa, my fiance, and possibly our cat will be having a 3-night canoe and camping trip on a local lake that's 3 hours north of here. Not going to give the lake name away, but apparently it's supposed to be excellent fishing for panfish, walleye, northern pike, musky lunge, and small and largemouth bass. So what more could you ask for? I'm excited seeing some of the there's a couple of reviews and videos on this lake, and they're pulling some pretty big panfish out of it. So I'm excited. We're going to be bringing up my fillet knives. We're going to be bringing up a nice skillet. We're going to be bringing up the oil and the breading, and hopefully each night we'll have a fish dinner, which Alyssa's can absolutely hate because she hates fish but likes tilapia for some reason. The bottom of the barrel, like nasty cheapo fish you can buy from the supermarket. She loves that, but perch, walleye, salmon, anything amazing, she hates. So it's quite odd, but who knows? So just, that's a heads up. I'm going to be trying to get out a video a week. Might be something like this. I'm pretty busy, so I think it's going to be more so like this. So if I'm taking an overnighter, I'll do a loadout video, and then the actual trip. Those will be 2 separate weekends. Or I also thought about, if you want, splitting up like an overnighter and doing some in-depth detail on like shelter building, tarp setup, fire making skills, and making that a own separate video, a 5 to 10 minute video, and then as well as the overnight adventure, the multi-day adventure being posted up at a later date after that. I think that's the best way that I'm going to be able to move forward and get a video out every week. So that's what I'm going to do. So let me know if that sounds like a good idea to you. I think it will be a good way to go and just kind of give me some extra video ideas to do, as well as to get out some skills, and we can learn together. Because I'm not by means, I'm not any bushcraft expert, but I have been camping my whole life, and I have been backpacking for a long time, and I love getting out and doing primitive camping and doing bushcraft and kind of primitive fire making skills. So we can learn together, and hopefully you can learn from my mistakes if I make them. I'm going to share my mistakes I have in the past, and yeah, you know, maybe I don't always point it out. I'll probably do a better job pointing out my mistakes, like that first winter video I did, the first video that's on my channel. I was a complete idiot for setting up on a lake, right on the lake shore when it was that windy out. Because the wind just swirled the entire night, and I just got beat up by the wind, and me and Morty froze the whole night. So we'll share all the mistakes, we'll share all the positives, and hopefully if we can learn together. So that's going to be a wrap up for this video. Hope you liked it, and stay tuned for the overnight adventure canoe and camp trip. Thanks.